Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gavin Ramon Show. Today we're going to get into a video that's just dropped, and it's about Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, and his denial to the victims of the grooming gangs. We've seen this for the last few years, and I've just seen this video come up, and I thought, well, we're not going to stop talking about it. So this is what we're going to get into today. And yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get straight into it, ladies and gents.
Sexually abused every day for a period of 3 years. When I did disclose to the police what was happening, I was told in no uncertain terms that I was a liar, that I was a fantasist, and that what was happening to me was a figment of my imagination. I was actually covered in so many cigarette burns that my mum had to put me in a salt bath because they'd started to go septic. And I don't think for a minute that it hasn't happened in London. I think the mayor is living under a rock.
Big time. Right, so just to sort of recap, welcome to the Gavin Ramon Show. Today we're going to be speaking about the latest on the grooming gangs. We have got a victim speaking out, silenced by fear, failed by the system, ready to be heard. Daily Express crime editor Paul Jeeves sits down with Girl One, a survivor of the notorious Oxford grooming gang in 2012. In this interview, she exposes the horrifying reality of her abuse, the institutional neglect that left her unprotected, and what she thinks of the National Grooming Gang Inquiry. This is the one that Labour, of course, rejected and didn't want to carry out.
So what happened to you back in 2012?
So I was approached by the police out of the blue because they wanted to know after years of what had happened to me. So between the years of 2004 and late 2006, I was abused by the Oxford grooming gang. Sometimes people refer to it as the Bullfinch grooming gang. This was long before social media. So how it happened was I was actually bunking off school and I was approached by one of the members of that gang, and I was given cigarettes and he asked for my number. I was very flattered. He was a good looking young guy in his 20s, and I was only 12 and I didn't understand.
Did you hear that? 12 years old, a man in his 20s approaching a 12-year-old.
Stand that there could be anything wrong. So
we need to bring back capital punishment,
I arranged
to be
meet
honest.
up with him, and nothing untoward happened. Again, it was just conversation, cigarettes, talking, asking me about my life and what, you know, very normal things.
Yes, and we've got a video coming about that on Wednesday.
Kept meeting up with them, and they'd give you a can of lager and more cigarettes and maybe a joint, weed, whatever. And I started to sort of trust them as my friends. This went on over a period of months where I started to think, oh, these guys really like me. I trust them. They're my friends, you know.
And that's how it all starts, isn't it?
Sexual ever happened during that time. And then there was a particular day they said, do you think you want to go to this party? Now, I was so young and so naive that I thought a party would be maybe some alcohol, food. Didn't think any more of it than that. And they took me to this party and we got there and it was just a house. And I realized very quickly that it wasn't a party that was like any party that I recognized. There was a lot of men that I didn't know in the living room, the back of this house, and I immediately felt that there was something very, very wrong, and I wanted to go. And I was taken into this room, and I was told that I needed to make them happy.
I mean, this is similar to a video that we covered the other week on the channel. I think it was somewhere like Nottingham, somewhere like that this had happened. And it's just happening over and over again in the United Kingdom. And we're still, as I say, waiting for results of this so-called grooming gang investigation. But I don't have much faith that they're actually going to resolve it, because they're too stressed out and concerned about affecting and offending certain communities.
And I realised very, very quickly
Evening,
that
Slim.
I wasn't going to be leaving this room. And it was that day that everything completely changed.
How old were you at this time?
12 or just turned 13.
12 years old.
And that was when the sexual abuse started. And they ramped up the drug use and the violence started. And by this point, they knew everything about me. They knew where my family lived. They knew about everything about my family because I had told them, because I trusted them. And instead of being my friends, they started to threaten me. So if I didn't do what they wanted to do, they would threaten to hurt me, hurt my family. And as a 13-year-old, I didn't know what to do. I felt like I'd done something really bad and I couldn't get out of it, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do other than to just keep doing what I was doing.
Just see a really good question there that's just come in. Why does Starmer call ordinary people right-wing thugs? I think it's because I don't want to call the fellow a genetic defect, but I'd say it's because he's completely out of touch with reality. Speaking of which, we're going to get to some of that double standards and reality checking a little later on.
And the drug use intensified, and the alcohol use intensified, and it just spiraled out of control. I was being abused every single day. I was being violently abused, sexually abused every day for a period of 3 years.
I'm not sort of making excuses, but where are all the parents when all of this is happening as well?
I was going missing for weeks at a time. I was by this point in the care of social services.
Oh my God.
In children's homes. And I was being abused while in their care as well. There were incidents where I was actually found by the police in the company of these men. And instead of asking them why they are with a 13, 14-year-old girl, and why this 13, 14-year-old girl...
They're probably going to blame her like they've done with other ones. Yeah, the Novak one we're going to cover as well.
Been missing for a week, is completely out of her mind on drugs and alcohol. I was told that I was wasting police time. I was a prostitute.
Jesus.
I was a bad kid.
And this is a child,
and
by
I
the
just
way.
needed to stop doing what I was doing. And there are actually paper records that say that I was making this up, that it was lies, that I was fabricating it for attention. Now, when I look back on that, I had gone from being a healthy, bright, intelligent child who was actually classed as being gifted and talented. I was always in the top sets for everything at school. I was set to do really, really well. I'd gone from that to somebody who was weighing less than 6 stone, who was obviously using drugs, not eating properly. My periods had stopped.
It makes you what? Do you know what as well? When a lot of these young girls have gone through this, it makes you wonder, Annie, how many of them have decided to end it all because they didn't have anyone to talk to. You know, like if they're in social care and stuff like this, and thinking no one trusts me, no one believes me. How many lives have been lost because of this stuff that we will never ever know about? It's very disturbing.
I was visibly ill. And the police said that this was a figment of imagination. I was always covered in bruises. One time I was actually covered in so many cigarette burns that my mum had to put me in a salt bath because they'd started to go septic. And people were saying that I was doing this to myself. Apparently this was all lies, and I was actually put on antipsychotic medication because they said that I was...
So instead of listening to young girls, they'd fob it off. So it's bigger than just one government. It's bigger than the Conservatives and Labour. It's the whole system. There's a very, very big problem in this country.
That I needed to have antipsychotic medication.
So who took you to the doctors?
I think it was my mum and social services did it. And I was seen by a psychiatrist who actually said that I was